Hey Eagles fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into the Eagles Report, and today, kind of an interesting video here. 3 positive thoughts, 3 negative thoughts from the Eagles' 20-17 loss to the New England Patriots. Before we start, though, I said on the last video I'd give you a shout-out if you correctly predicted the score in the comments. No one predicted 17-10. A lot of people predicted 24-17, maybe a little bit higher, but no one got it right, so no shout-outs. So without further ado, let's jump right into today's video. Alright, so 3 positive, 3 negatives from the Eagles' 17-10 loss to New England on Sunday. Starting with number 1, we'll do a negative. Wide receivers are really, really bad, and Nelson Agholor is having an awful year, and it keeps showing up in critical moments of big games. 4 catches for 40 yards for Agholor. The problem is, he was the best wide receiver on the field, at least receiving-wise. Now, Zach Ertz had a better day in terms of total yards, but Agholor was absolutely awful, but he was still the best out of all the rest of the receivers. Jordan Matthews recently signed 1 catch, 6 yards. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, 1 catch for 29 yards. That's it. I know it's the best pass defense in the NFL, but these receivers are not getting open. They're not catching passes, and you can make an argument. Nelson Agholor dropped his second game-winning, game-tying touchdown of the year. It was a good ball by Carson Wentz on 4th down and 10, and he didn't track it, and he dropped it, and here we are sitting at 5-5. The receiver core is something that we've talked about on the show a lot. I really thought they would make a move at the trade deadline for like a Robbie Anderson. They chose not to. Sean Jackson goes to IR. He's probably not coming back. This is what we're left with, and what we're left with is not very good. Question right here. Should the Eagles cut Nelson Agholor next year? Or I should say in the offseason. Should they just get rid of Nelson Agholor because you're paying him $9 million a year right now to do this? 4 catches for 40 yards. Atrocious. I would say yes. What say you guys? Let me know in the comment section down below. Negative number 2. Again, 3 negative, then 3 positive. How about the O-line having its worst game of the year? Carson Wentz under pressure all day. 5 sacks. Couple of those were Wentz's fault, holding the ball too long. Coverage sacks, as they say. But as soon as you lost Lane Johnson to the concussion, this offensive line struggled mightily and really was beat up all day long. This is supposed to be a strength of the Eagles. They're supposed to be able to run the football behind this O-line, supposed to be able to pass protect very, very well. They did neither. The O-line has been very, very up and down this year, hasn't been fully healthy. Once Lane Johnson comes back from the concussion, hopefully next week they'll be okay, but it still was a massive, massive reason why the Eagles could not move the football at all after jumping out to a 10-0 lead. Finally, negative number 3. We got to be honest. We got to give credit where credit is due. We also got to call people out whenever they struggle. Carson Wentz struggled on Sunday. This was one of his worst performances as a Philadelphia Eagle. 20 for 40, 214 yards, the 1 touchdown, and a 38.2 QBR. A lot of people want to criticize Wentz for not progressing to the quarterback we expect him to be. That can be true because there were a couple of easy throws, especially on that final drive that he should have completed. He's done this all year. But at the same time, go back to negative number 1. Who is he throwing the ball to? There's some great breakdowns on Twitter by Brian Baldinger from the NFL Network, essentially pointing out that the Eagles receivers are running terrible routes. They're not getting open. They're not helping Carson Wentz. So as much as he has struggled, which is very, very true, he has definitely regressed this year from other years. He's still not having a lot of help for when you have no run game, you're getting sacked 5 times, and no one's getting open. We can't put a lot of blame on Wentz, but there are still some throws that should be easy throws that Carson has missed so far, and it's been frustrating to watch this year. Questioning you guys here. Is Carson Wentz to blame for the Eagles offense, for all the offensive woes that we've been going through? If yes, type Y in the comments down below. If no, type N in the comments down below. I want to hear what you guys have to think. All right, a couple positives here because, again, 17-10 to New England is not a bad score. You know, you talk about holding Tom Brady to no touchdown passes. This was a very winnable game, and one of the reasons was, positive number 1, the secondary played great and is playing great. You go all the way back to the Bears game before the bye. They were fantastic in the secondary, but that was Mitch Trubisky. Now you see Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, and he had one of his worst games of the season. The secondary didn't even give up a passing touchdown to Brady. It was that dumb Julian Edelman wide receiver toss that got us. But other than that, when all 5 starters are healthy, this secondary is very, very good. I think it shows why Howie Roseman and the Eagles front office decided to not make a trade for Jalen Ramsey or Patrick Peterson or Chris Harris Jr. because they knew once we're healthy, we'll be okay, and that is exactly what they did. If there's a knock on the secondary, it's that they had some very makeable interceptions, which they dropped, but at the same time, if you hold Brady to no passing touchdowns, and 17 total points. The offense should be able to do its part and score. It did not. The secondary is positive number 1. How about positive number 2? The defensive line suddenly getting a lot of pressure, looking a lot better than they did earlier on in the year. Jim Schwartz has been coaching a great defensive game plan so far the past couple of weeks, and it shows by being able to get pressure with 4 and also be able to get pressure on some unique blitz packages. Tom Brady was very, very uncomfortable. Made some good throws, but also made a lot of bad throws because he had pressure in his face. Again, the defense had been the problem early on in the season. They were getting burned, especially in that Atlanta game early on. Now, front 4 looks good, the secondary looks good, and it's only going to get better once Nigel Bradham returns, the linebacker who should be able to come back in the next couple of weeks. This is a great defense. This is a top 10 defense over the final half of this season. The problem is, can they get some rest on the sideline because the offense is not able to put first downs after, or kind of line them up one after another. Question, was this the best defensive performance of the year so far? There's some other good ones. Chicago was pretty good, but I think against New England, 17 points, not bad. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And finally, positive number 3, we weren't supposed to win this game anyway, right? Like, that was the whole point of the Eagles' schedule we talked about earlier on, was that, yeah, 2 hard games, New England, Seattle, but then it's very, very easy. You could win out after that. I think we all assumed we'd probably lose this game. Why it hurts is because we were so close and could have won the game, especially later on in the fourth quarter. There were a lot of chances to do so. But going into it, you ask the majority of Eagle fans, how confident are you? I think we would have all said, probably not going to be able to win this game. Obviously, no Alshon Jeffrey, no Jordan Howard. That played a factor into it. J.J. recently signed, basically didn't play. He wasn't ready to go. Got to learn the offense. And they did a good job taking care of Miles Sanders on the defensive side for New England. So I think we can pump the brakes on this being a terrible loss because they played okay, especially bad on offense, and still was one possession away, really one catch from Nelson Agholor away from winning the game. So it's not panic time yet. They can still roll the dice, win out, and have a chance to win the NFC East because, again, we were not expecting the Eagles to win this game anyway. Final question. What will the Eagles' final record be? I'm saying you might still be able to get to 10 wins. You could lose to Seattle and still get to 10 wins. And, of course, 10-6 would do enough to get you into the NFC East, win the NFC East to get you into the playoffs. So what do you guys think? Give me a record prediction in the comments down below. There you go. All the time we have for today on the Eagles Report. I'm Thomas Mott. Be sure to subscribe. I appreciate all of our thousands of subscribers we've had up to this day. Plenty more videos coming up this week. The Philadelphia Eagles are 5-5. We'll look forward to Seattle later on. We'll see what happens on Sunday. Again, for the Eagles Report, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.